sekarang merupakan acara yang dinanti-nantikan. Majlis ini diteruskan dengan sesi perkongsian mengenai landscape kecerdasan buatan di Malaysia yang akan disampaikan oleh Yang Berhormat Tuan Chang Lih Kang, Menteri Sains, Teknologi dan Inovasi Malaysia. Boleh kita berkenalan sikit dengan YB? Okay, so ini saya but I will introduce you about your biography. Yang Berhormat Tuan Chang Lih Kang merupakan lulusan pengajian sarjana muda Sains Kejuruteraan Awam dari Universiti Malaysia dan sarjana pentadbiran awam dari Lee Kuan Yew School of Public Policy, National University of Singapore. Memanfaatkan latar belakang beliau yang luas dalam bidang kejuruteraan dan pentadbiran awam, beliau komited menerangi komitmen Malaysia terhadap pembangunan mampan melalui kemajuan teknologi. Di bawah kepimpinan beliau, Kementerian Sains, Teknologi dan Inovasi MOSTI terus bergerak selangkah ke hadapan merintis pelbagai inisiatif yang mengintegrasikan teknologi hijau dan tenaga boleh diperbaharui bagi meningkatkan kelestarian alam sekitar dan daya tahan ekonomi Malaysia. Oleh yang demikian, dengan segala hormatnya dipersilakan Yang Berhormat Tuan Chang Lih Kang untuk meneruskan sesi perkongsian. Dipersilakan, Yang Berhormat.
Terima kasih. Terima kasih Saudari Pengacara Majlis, yang berbahagia Datuk Seri Asnor Zamzam, Ketua Setiausaha MOSTI. Tahu apa itu MOSTI kan? Ministry of Science, Technology and Innovation. Puan Nuzia di KSU, MOSTI, Profesor Datin Habsah dari Petronas, Profesor Zamri, Profesor 𝘾𝙗𝙒𝙗𝙗𝙏𝙗𝙗, saudara-saudari sekalian, salam sejahtera, salam Malaysia Madani, dan selamat Hari Raya Aidilfitri. Maaf zahir dan batin. Hari ini saya berasa sangat berbesar hati dapat bersama dengan saudara-saudari sekalian. In fact, saya namakan ini adalah kali pertama saya ada di dalam kampus untuk bercakap tentang teknologi dan sains. Dan kita namakan TED Talk. Dia lebih kurang macam menyamar sikit lah, macam TED Talk, TED. Saya ingat hari ini saya akan pakai macam Steve Jobs, tapi tak ada ke, kena guna mic ini juga. Tapi tak apalah kan. Saya nak buat satu survey dulu. Sebelum ni saya nak tengok siapa yang pernah tengok video saya. Ada pernah tengok yang publicity video untuk TED Talk. Saya ada nampak saya kena hantuk kan, kepala kena hantuk. Sebab program ini kepala saya kena hantuk beberapa kali tau. So please be grateful. So hadirin sekalian, hari ini saya akan sentuh sedikit tentang the overall picture of science, technology and innovation ecosystem in Malaysia. Dan of course Datin Habsah akan sebut lebih banyak dalam AI because she is the expert. But kenapa saya ingin nak adakan TED Talk bukan saja di Universiti Malaya tetapi di seluruh universiti di seluruh negara. Sebab kita jarang-jarang bincang tentang sains, teknologi dan inovasi di dalam universiti. Walaupun universiti merupakan tempat yang paling sesuai untuk kita bincang tentang sains, teknologi dan inovasi. Dan itu sebabnya saya rasa baik untuk kita ambil inisiatif masuk ke universiti, jumpa dengan adik-adik semua. Dan hari ini presentation tak panjang, sikit saja dalam 20 minit. Tapi selepas ini saya nak dengar apa cadangan ataupun pandangan adik-adik semua. So nanti silakan, jangan segan, jangan malu. Hari ini sempoi saja. Saya mau pakai jeans. So jangan risau. Dan jangan risau tentang kehadiran. Saya baru bagi tahu Prof Zamri dan Prof Kaha. Dulu saya pun jarang-jarang saya akan hadir program seperti ini dengan Menteri mengarut. Lepas tu Malam-malam kita ada program sendiri kan. So thank you for coming. Thank you very much. And today, initially, I wanted to give you a very rosy picture about our science, technology, and innovation. However, few days ago, someone ruined my plan. One crazy fella, he made one crazy decision and put the whole world in limbo. So unfortunately, I cannot paint a very rosy picture of our science, technology, and innovation ecosystem. So please bear with me. However, I want to let you know what is the overview of science STI, science, technology, innovation, STI ecosystem in Malaysia. Well, a lot of people have this question in mind: how good or how bad is our science and tech in Malaysia? How do we gauge? Bagaimana kita nak kena pasti sama ada kita ni bagus atau tidak bagus? Sains kita ni, tech kita ni. So selalu orang tanya, saya kata okay, to be objective, kita ada satu ranking, world ranking, dinamakan GII, Global Innovation Index. Dalam Global Innovation Index ni, dia akan ada banyak indikator lah, 82 indicators. So dia akan gauge, dia akan bagi markah lah, berapa yang kita dapat, berapa negara ini dapat. So Malaysia is ranked Malaysia is ranked 33 among 133 countries. 33 kedudukan kita pada tahun lepas lah. Kedudukan kita 33 di kalangan 133 negara. Orang kata mungkin ini kira pencapaian, boleh tahan lah, bukan baik sangat, boleh tahan. So bagaimana kita nak tengok? Kalau bagi saya, roughly 1 to 25 consider high-tech nation, 25 is New Zealand, 26 Italy, so 24 Belgium. So 1 to 25 I think high-tech nation, we can consider that. 25 to 30 almost there, but not there yet. 30 and above, we are not there yet. So Malaysia 33, and we have one ambition. We want to be a high-tech nation by 2030. Maksudnya high-tech nation apa? Maksud high-tech nation adalah kita bukan saja pengguna teknologi, tetapi kita adalah pencipta teknologi, kita adalah pengeluar teknologi. So this is our goal. By 2030, we want to be high-tech nation. Tapi a lot of things we need to do lah. So untuk GII ni, so ada orang tanya, so what is our plan, MOSTI? Apa peranan MOSTI? What is our plan? What is your focus? Saya nak bagi tahu kawan-kawan semua, our plan is sejak saya dilantik sebagai menteri, saya bagi satu akronim. Semua orang Malaysia, semua orang di Malaysia suka akronim kan? So I bagi satu akronim juga. What we want to do is precise. PRECISE. P is for people centric. Maksudnya apa yang kita buat perlu memastikan apa yang kita buat itu is people centric. Secondly, R is what? R is R&D, research and development. So dalam research and development kita ada banyak sektor lah. Nanotechnology, semiconductor, blockchain, AI, biotechnology, space technology. Unfortunately semua dibawa MOSTI. So saya kena jaga semua tu. Walaupun yalah saya tak pandai sangat, tapi saya kena jaga semua tu. So that is R&D. E, enculturation. Enculturation maksudnya pembudayaan sains dalam masyarakat kita. So yang di bawah MOSTI selalu kita anjurkan program seperti Minggu Sains Negara. Kita ada pameran di setiap negeri. Seperti Tech Limpet, kita ada competition for primary school student, secondary school students. So kita ada TV show Inovaton. Siapa pernah tonton Inovaton? Sikitnya. Saya orang tak tengok television. So Inovaton juga part of our science and culturation. PRE. C, C is capacity building. Capacity building maksudnya kita perlu membina capacity lah, capacity building, or especially on our human resources. I is investment, or investment tentang tech. Memang kita rasa itu tanggungjawab MOSTI juga. Kita perlu mainkan peranan untuk menarik investment yang berkaitan dengan teknologi, especially teknologi tinggi. SE, startup ecosystem. Startup ecosystem. So dalam the whole science, technology and innovation ecosystem, startups are very important. That's why we put startup into this whole things that we need to do. That's why we call precise. So itu adalah beberapa benda yang kami nak buat. Dan apa fokus kita? Fokus kita before I sentuh tentang fokus, kita kena faham dalam dunia sains teknologi ini, we cannot think we can do everything. There's no one country can do everything, not even the most advanced country. So for us to have our focus, kita kena fikir what we actually want. Kenapa kita nak fokus yang ni? Saya bagi contoh. Saya pergi ke one of the focuses is space technology. Apa program yang kita ada in mind sekarang, in the pipeline? Kita nak adakan, kita nak manufacture. Kita nak buat satellite, remote sensing satellite sendiri dalam 2 tahun atau 3 tahun, 2 or 3 years. We want to have our very own Malaysian made remote sensing satellite. Remote sensing satellite ni tak ada apalah, sekarang banyak negara boleh buat. I bagi satu contoh, I pergi China, tengok satu agency kerajaan dia. Dia macam kita punya dia macam US punya NASA lah. They call CNSA. So I pergi, before I ingat I nak brag, I nak bagi tahu, in 2 or 3 years time kita akan ada our first Malaysian made remote sensing satellite. Tapi before I brag, nasib baik I tanya dulu. So when did you launch your first satellite? China, I tanya, when did you launch your first satellite? Oh, dia kata lama dah. Lama itu bila? 1970. So saya terus diam. I tak berani cakap dah. Sebab orang 1970 sudah launch their own satellite. Hari ini baru kita nak buat our Malaysia first satellite. Tapi penting. Sebab apa? Sebab satellite ini adalah something recurring. Dia bila dia ada dia ada lifespan dia. So bila kita sudah launch, kita beli, kita launch, lepas tu after few years dia akan jadi obsolete, tak boleh guna, kita kena beli lagi. So keep buying will cost us a lot of money. So we have to have R&D on this. So that is space technology. Then we are also going to focus in developing our very own human vaccine. Setakat ini Malaysia tak ada capacity untuk buat human vaccine. We only have capacity to manufacture animal vaccine. This is our current situation. But you tanya orang kata everywhere so many pharmaceutical companies can produce human vaccine. Just buy lah. Why want to develop ourselves? Yeah, before this memang we thought we don't need to buy, we don't need to research and we don't need to develop. But after this COVID, then we notice one very important thing, that we do not have vaccine sovereignty. Kita tak ada kedaulatan vaksin. Sebab apa? Apabila berlakunya satu pandemik, kita perlu vaksin, kita perlu beli. Dan bila beli, semua negara yang tidak ada keupayaan untuk buat vaksin manusia, kita kena beratur. So kita beratur, price will be determined by others. Whether they want to sell to you will be determined by others. So kita ada duit pun tak semestinya you boleh beli. So that's what we call vaccine sovereignty. That's why 2021 kita sudah ada plan untuk produce our own human vaccine by 2030. But hopefully, if everything runs smooth, by 2027 we will have our own human vaccine. So this is one of our focuses, and of course there are so many other focuses like hydrogen, nanotech, semiconductor. So these are our focuses. And what are our problems? Dalam sains, teknologi dan innovation ecosystem ini, kita selalu ada problem. What are the problems? First problem, people are very cynical. So people are very cynical. People always they do not believe our own capacity. Kita tak percaya keupayaan orang Malaysia sendiri. So kita selalu ingat, kita selalu fikir, betul ke kita ada keupayaan ni? Bila kita kata kita nak buat satelit, betul ke you kereta pun, proton pun tak baik sangat, kan? Bila kita nak buat vaksin, you betul ke you animal vaksin pun tak baik sangat, you nak buat vaksin human vaksin. So anything pun bila kita sebut, ada cynicism dia, ada cynical orang yang dia selalu apa-apa kita cakap pun dia akan very cynical. Dia akan question you on that. So if you are also one of them, I just want to let you know how good we are. How good we are. I give you two examples. One, you go to Cyberjaya. Cyberjaya, there's one company, Turkish company, not Malaysian company. Turkish company. The name of the company is Turkish Aerospace. Turkish Aerospace came to Malaysia. They set up a company here. Why? Because they think our engineers are good. What they do? They hire our engineers. Buat apa? Dia orang design avionics. Avionics is computer of the airplane. Computer of the airplane. Boleh kata is the brain of the airplane. Siapa design? Orang Malaysia. Orang Malaysia, engineer Malaysia yang design. That company hire 150 engineer, Malaysian engineers, and they are expanding. So if you say we are not good, people come to Malaysia to set up company because we have good talents. Second, I want you to go to Melaka. Melaka, lupa tempat tu. Batu berendam, ya, CTRM. CTRM, dia adalah satu company subsidiary to Highcom. Apa tu? DRB Highcom. Apa CTRM buat? CTRM dia buat composite. Composite itu adalah parts of the airplane, yang body itu, aircraft body. Part of it manufactured in Malaysia by Malaysian. So if you are still cynical, nanti kita bawa you pergi sana tengok sendiri. Boeing dia, Airbus dia, beli dari kita. So beli dari kita. That's why if you are still cynical, nanti saya akan anjurkan satu rombongan ke kita pergi lawat satu-satunya, bukan satu-satunya lah, ada company, high tech company. And of course Petronas is also one of them. Petronas very famous, very terkenal di dunia ini. Bukan saja di Malaysia. You think Petronas only famous in Malaysia. Petronas is very famous, known in the world, one of the best oil and gas company. So don't be cynical. Secondly, our problem is what? When we talk about science, technology and innovation, our problem is fear. We always fear that we will be lose out. We always fear we will lose out. So when we talk about tech, we always fear because of the cynicism. We thought we are not good enough. People are better. That's why when we talk about tech, they said, no lah, better not. This one, they are better. Or that country is better. That country is better. But definitely not Malaysia. So this is another very wrong concept or very wrong perception where people think that Malaysia is going to lose out. But I just want to inform you one fact. Under this global GII, tadi yang saya sebut tu, Global Innovation Index, there are 82 indicators. Malaysia ranked number 1 in 3 indicators. I just want to inform you, one of the 3 indicators is talent. Malaysia has the most science and engineering graduates in terms of percentage. Kita rank number 1 in the world. So out of 82 indicators, we rank number 1 in 3 indicators. Of course, that's why others we lose out. That's why we are ranked 33rd. But in the world, we are number 1 in Global Innovation Index on science and engineering graduates in terms of percentage. We are also number 1 in terms of high-tech export, high-tech export in trade. So you might not believe, but look at the figures. So don't be afraid. Don't be afraid of competition. We are as good, if not we are better than others in the world. And third, anxiety. Okay, talk about this anxiety. Nanti saya akan masuk AI. So anxiety is what? Whenever there's a new tech emerge, people will be very anxious. Oh, adakah saya akan diganti oleh teknologi ini? So AI ya, baru kita dengar banyak question, banyak soalan. Adakah saya akan diganti? Am I going to be replaced? Or are human beings are going to be replaced by AI? But if we look back, our human history during the Industrial Revolution, kita ada apa? Industrial Revolution ada apa? Ya tahu ke tak? Industrial Revolution kita ada steam machine, kan? Steam machine. Lepas that was the invented during that time, and during that time steam machine tu kira hebat lah, teknologi paling canggih dalam dunia. Masa itu orang takut tak? Orang anxious tak? Orang anxious sebab dia takut, dia tengok mesin ni very efficient, tak perlu guna tenaga manusia, dan dia takut, am I going to be replaced? But proven in the history that people, the steam machine did not replace human. And after that, kita ada komputer. Bila kita ada komputer, semua orang takut. People are very anxious because they thought they are going to be replaced by computer. But it didn't happen. So when this AI thing come about, also a lot of people are worried that they will be replaced. But I tell you what, I'm going to give you an assurance, it is not going to happen. Same like what happened in the history. Whenever there's an emerging tech, people are anxious, people are worried, but it is not going to happen. You know why? Because human ni there's something in human that cannot be replaced. Is the ability to continuous learning. Ability to continuous learning. So this one cannot be replaced by any technology. So don't worry. So apa AI ini? AI ini adalah satu enabler, I would say. Dia cross sector. Although AI ni nampak canggih, dia ada machine learning, dia ada self learning. AI tu dia boleh belajar sendiri tau. Dia boleh belajar sendiri, dia boleh buat macam-macam yang manusia tak boleh. Yang manusia buat, tapi dia ada error manusia. Tapi AI tak ada errornya. Adalah, you kena train dia lah, kan. After training, mungkin dia akan ganti manusia. I mean, to me, it is not going to happen. But I just want to inform you one thing: you are not going to be replaced by AI, but you might be replaced by people who knows how to utilize AI. So this is very important. Untuk adik-adik di sini semua, nasihat saya, you kena make sure you are open-minded. Your mind is open enough to continue learning. Maybe you are not, you are just an engineering student, or you are just, cannot say you are just, maybe you are engineering student, maybe you are a science student, or even you are from sastra. Please continue to learn, because AI will be very important, and AI is shaping the future of how we are going to live, how we are going to work. And I just want to give you some statistic. In Malaysia, at the moment, the workforce, only 15% is digital savvy. Only 15%. Maksudnya, kita ada peluang yang banyak. Peluang yang besar. Bila kita hanya ada 15% digital savvy, you have a lot of opportunities. And in Malaysia, 97% syarikat firms, they are SME. AI adoption only 30%. AI adoption only 30%. So that's mean you have so many opportunities. You ada banyak lagi peluang. That's why please open your heart, be willing to learn new things, especially things like AI, robotic, coding. So saya bagi contoh, if you are an engineer, you go and after graduation, you go and look for a job. So if you only know your profession, you only know how to engineering, but your colleague, your coursemate, he knows a little bit more than you. He knows how to use AI. He knows how to utilize ChatGPT. Definitely, the boss will pick him or her. If he knows, say Excel, he knows how to use Excel, then maybe the boss will, not maybe, definitely the boss is going to pick him or her. Just a little bit more. So you need to know a little bit more than your profession. So not necessarily you are a science student, you are engineering student, only you need to, or you are IT student, only you need to know AI. But the whole, I would say, whole nation, we should learn how to use AI. Bagi contoh, kita ada banyak inisiatif, like MOSTI. We have a roadmap, AI roadmap, 2021 to 2025. It's ending this year, but we started early. So this AI roadmap sudah pun consider provide. We have already provided a direction and to the whole AI ecosystem, to the industry player, to the stakeholders. So maybe we might have a new roadmap after this, but we don't know. Then we are still looking at, we are still reviewing it. And also last year we just launched our AIGE, AI Governance and Ethics. Maksudnya, this is not a law. This is not a law, but this is just a framework where we hope everybody can use this as a guideline, especially those industry player and stakeholder, how to use AI ethically. So slowly, of course, maybe eventually dia akan jadi peraturan ataupun undang-undang in maybe years to come. But at least we already have this in Malaysia, and we are ahead of many countries. So what competitive advantage we have? One, government commitment. Sorry ya, long-winded lebih dah. Kata 20 minit, sekarang sudah lebih ya. Tapi tak apalah, saya menteri kan. Bagi sikit injury time. Bagi sikit injury time. So okay, alah, sampai mana saya. Okay, our advantage. Satu, government commitment. Government is very committed in developing AI, because government knows that the importance of AI. Government knows that AI is going to shape the future of the country. That's why we are very committed. So last year, government committed 20 million for UTM, unfortunately not UM, for UTM to set up an AI faculty. So that already done. This year, additional 50 million for 5 universities to have special AI development in different sectors. So UM also is one of them. UM is on medical, yeah. AI application in medical field. UPM is on cyber security. UKM is on large language model, and apa lagi? USM is on semiconductor. So that is addition on top of the 20 million to set up the AI faculty. And of course, we know we have already attracted so many data centers to Malaysia. I know there are a lot of controversies about data center. People say data center might not be good investment because not many employment being created, and the energy consumption is very high, water consumption is also very high. But in order to develop AI, we have to have this, because AI is about computing power, AI is about storage, AI is about data. So of course we know data center might not be the best investment, but we need them for the moment to develop AI. So we have this I would say we have this advantage because government is committed. So secondly, we have I would say relatively matured E&E ecosystem, especially in Penang, semiconductor, E&E, and those are very important, especially in terms of hardware. If we want to develop AI, we need to develop hardware as well. So our relatively mature E&E ecosystem is important for us to develop this AI. And of course, other things also. I think I've already touched on all that. So what are the problems? Our problems is only one: talent. So we do not have enough talent. We got so many investment, tech-driven investment, who are willing to come to Malaysia, but we couldn't provide enough AI talent for them. So we have many initiatives by MOSTI, by Kementerian Digital, by KPT, Pengajian Tinggi, by Kesuma, Sumber Manusia. So we have so many upskilling and reskilling programs. If you are interested, of course you can go to our website. There are many introductions. But to me, I think we need to really work together. We need to collaborate, not only country to country, but also universities to universities, ministries with ministries, students with students. So now we are in we call a post-normal era. So post-normal era means we have to do something not abnormal, but we have to do something beyond normal practice. So collaboration is very important. Of course, the tariff thing is very tariff thing is disastrous to tech development community. But anyhow, we are going to deal with it later. We need our adik-adik semua untuk be prepared to be someone who are willing to learn, who are willing to take up new challenges. And I'm telling you, outside world is going to be very tough. So we need to prepare ourselves, we need to equip ourselves while you are still in campus. And you have all the resources, you have good professors, you have good equipment, you have good classmates. So make use of what you have in the campus, and of course you are in one of the best universities in Malaysia. So please make use of what you have. And I think my sharing, I just stop here, and after this we can have more Q&A, more questions. Thank you very much.
YB, you know, right? Our students perceive value actually. Earlier, tonight going to be a very kind of boring speech by the Menteri, but it's turned out like we have found that it's very interesting sharings and very informative. So thank you very much. I really need it. Okay, so thank you. And remember that we are lacking of talent, right? Jangan lupa contact YB. Lepas ni, siapa nak cari talent tu, peluang ni. Baiklah, dan seterusnya merupakan kita akan mendengar pula sesi perkongsian kedua mengenai peranan industri dalam bidang kecerdasan buatan. Majlis amat berbesar hati untuk menjemput yang berbahagia Datin Ts Habsah Nordin, Ketua Pusat Kecemerlangan Kecerdasan Buatan Petronas, untuk berkongsi pandangan beliau mengenai peranan industri dalam memacu kecerdasan buatan di Malaysia. Jadi kita berkenalan sikit dengan yang bagi Datin. Dia merupakan berkelulusan ijazah sains dalam jurusan sains komputer daripada Kecerdasan Buatan Universiti USA dan telah berkhidmat di Petronas sejak 1995 ya Datin, dan memegang pelbagai portfolio kepimpinan seperti perancangan strategik, pembangunan perniagaan, pemasaran, audit dalaman, transformasi, data management dan banyak lagi. Jadi nanti berkenalanlah sendiri dengan yang berbahagia Datin. Baiklah, dengan segala hormatnya dipersilakan yang berbahagia Datin Teknologi Habsah Nordin.
With the introduction. Okay, distinguished guests, YB Chang, yang berbahagia Dato' Sri Haji Hasno Zamzam, yang berusaha Profesor Dr. Zamri. Gentlemen, adik-adik semua ya. If you want to connect with me, sorry, I'll be doing this presentation in English if you don't mind. Good. This is about myself, but if you want to connect with me, please do so in LinkedIn. You will know me better. Right now, I'm heading the AI Center of Excellence for Petronas. What I'll be covering for today is an extension to what YB has shared with you. I think there has been so many tremendous efforts by the government in making advancements in the technology as well as the AI space. But I'll be covering more from the global lens, exactly what's the opportunity that you can take forward. Even though you may not be a computer science graduate, but you can always find yourself somewhere within that whole ecosystem of AI. Okay, next. Okay, the AI trajectory, the one that we'll be covering today is looking at the growth, competition, transformation. So I'll be covering about evolution of AI, give you a perspective how it has evolved over time. AI doesn't happen when ChatGPT appears to your laptop or to your mobile phone. It has been long in existence. What exactly are the global AI risks that we are knowing for now, and as well as future impacts of jobs? Next. Okay, this is a study that was done by Indigo Advisory Group. If you see to the left of it, you can see it is actually of a multifaceted. So the early beginning, it was the structuring of within the energy sector, how the technology has evolved. This was the time in the early 1970s where the renewable energy industry 3.0 has appeared. So this was the time when we're looking at the automation, computers, creations, as well as microprocessors. And in 2000 until 2020, we heard about the digital transformation. You heard about it, right? So this is where we are looking at a lot more, the use of the data and how exactly we're able to test new business model. You also heard about Industry 4.0, the IoT and so forth. Now, we are moving into the next phase. This is the next phase, we call it automating phase. This is where the net zero comes in the space of energy as well as Industry 5.0. This is about AI becoming more industrialized, where you can see AI in multifacets of things, not just in the information technology, as well in the operational technology. So that's where it covers in the whole spectrum. Next. Now, what is AI? Maybe just give a snapshot. So AI started its creations in 1950. It has evolved through times to machine learning and deep learning. So the way we have applied AI in Petronas when we started our digital transformations in the late 2018, whenever we look at the business pain point, area that we need to solve, some of the solutions that we develop, we have embedded different approaches of AI. So these are just some of the examples that we have put in place in Petronas. Most of these solutions are already in use. Some of the solutions we use it in a manner that we are looking at from the way that we plan in terms of our LNG, all the way that we supply to the customer, the way we look at the smart detection intervention. This is where computer vision is being used to detect any of the unsafe act and behavior for all the workers at the project sites. And this is also where we have Int AI. This is a total solutions, how we bring digital and AI to actually have a modernization the way we do our inspections at our plant. So these are just some of few solutions that we have embedded AI within Kecerdasan. Next. Now, what does the global race is telling us? If you see on your left side, that's first one. This is what you hear every single week, right? It's like a chase of new technology. You know, Microsoft is announcing something, NVIDIA is announcing something else. That's the technology race. So you can see from the hyperscaler like the Google as well as the AWS and so forth, they always have that new technology that they are introducing. But when AI is actually moving in that direction from a technology lens, there's also another race, which is the regulation AI. The regulation AI comes more enforced when generative AI comes in the picture. I think you remember when you start to use ChatGPT, there was always this concern about hallucination. So the generative AI per se bring about the law as well as the legality of the use of AI. In the regulations of AI, the state that we want to be is having a responsible AI state. So in Malaysia, last year we already have under MOSTI leadership, the release of 𝘼𝙧𝙩𝙒, as what YB Chang has mentioned, that become a voluntary framework. How an organization look at the build of AI according to the 7 principles of ethics. And then we have the third race, which is the business transformation. This happens at every industry, at every company. Because of the advancement of technology, at the same time, there's also the regulatory balancing. How do we bring about, as a Petronas, as well as any company, the use of AI to create value? So that's from a business transformation standpoint. So if you look at this, these are big ecosystems. So when you look at where your skill set of AI comes in, it's not just in the technology space. It goes across all the other dimensions. Next. Now, I would like to share with you some of the findings from the talent talk. These are the 5 major findings. The finding number 1 is all sector agrees that adopting AI digital is essential. It is not an option. It's a must do. You must do it. The second finding is about 620,000 jobs, or about 18% of the 3.5 million is expected to be impacted. But it doesn't mean that impacted means you lose your job, because later you will see there's also creation of new jobs, new roles. Third finding is where employers are increasingly seeking talents with AI. I think the one that YB Chang mentioned, you know, as an employer, if you know more of AI and other technology, you would be more preferable as far as from a context of employment. But what I would like to deep dive today is on finding number 4, which is where we talk about the emerging jobs that will become more important, with 70% in AI and digital. And finding number 5, how highly impacted jobs can also pivot to other jobs within the same industry or to a different sectors. Okay, so those are going to be my deep dive, sharing. Okay, next. Okay, now World Economic Forum. This is a study in 2023. You look at the top 10 fastest growing jobs, you will see those on the top list, those are AI and machine learning specialists. You will also see some of the other, areas, for instance, like data analysts and scientists. So these are also the adjacent to the AI talents. So if you look at it, like even robotic engineers, now we also see AI is being embedded within robots, right? The recent announcement by NVIDIA. So while in the past, robot is being supervised by human, but right now, the robot is embedded with its own intelligence, mimicking a human intelligence. So that's where it's moving on. Now, if you go next. Now, we look at how does the emerging job become increasingly critical and how it reshapes the future of job. So this is again from World Economics Forum. 22% of the global jobs will be affected by job disruption by 2030. In fact, I just read this morning a Forbes article that was released on the 4th of April. It mentioned that 70% of jobs will be affected where there will be a skill shift, which means that some of the job, that particular skill will no longer be relevant, but it will be added on to a different other skill to undertake that job, right? And we look at where 39% of the core skill required across job will change due to the advancement of AI and digitalization, and where there will be a 40% growth in the roles of AI and machine learning by 2027. So if you look at this number, right, it's like two sides of a coin. One side, you kind of like having anxiety, but the other side of it, you kind of have very high prospect, positivity, because this is where the balance is. But what we are saying is there's a lot more opportunity where there will be new roles that's be emerging with AI. So I think I just want to recap again what YB Chang is mentioning. AI will not replace human, definitely will not replace human, but the collaboration of human and AI will be very different in the future. Because as we speak right now, the state of AI that we're seeing at this juncture is still within what we call as narrow artificial intelligence. It will move into the next phase of a general artificial intelligence. So it will get more sophisticated over time. What it means that as a human, we need to level up our upskilling. So that will be the challenge, and I would say an opportunity, which means that from the learning agility, it will definitely redefine differently the way we operate today versus how we operate in the last 30 years. Because AI will make a change for us. So what we're saying is that if we do not disrupt ourselves, AI will disrupt us. It's as simple as that. Now, if you see on your right side, maybe it's a little bit small, but what you can see, these are some of the examples, the roles that are undertaken as the whole ecosystem of developing an AI. Typically, when we hear about AI, the first thing in your mind is about what? Data science, right? It's not just data science. You will also need UX engineer to develop the solution, data engineer. You have also your AI architect, you have your AI engineer, you have your machine learning engineer. So you imagine different role has a different competency and skill set. So typically, every time we evolve into development of any solutions with AI, this will be the different skill set that will be assembled in the different phases of the development within the whole AI lifecycle. Next. Okay, this is just an example to give you a perspective. So if we actually take some of the key roles, looking at the whole AI lifecycle, there's the technical aspects of things to your left, but there's also the responsible AI developments. So if you see on the left, AI architect, these are the person who have the bird's eye view in terms of how they're going to design the AI infrastructure, align with the business goal, align with the right in terms of the ethics and so forth. So you have that. So these are the architects of AI. Then you have a data scientist who looks into analyze the data and they start to develop the models. That's your data scientist. For that development of models to actually be embedded into applications, you will need to have your machine learning engineer. And right after that particular model is being used within any application, then the AI engineer will ensure that it's the right ecosystems of AI being developed so that it can be functionable within the business process. So I just want to give you this particular example is to show you AI is very broad. So it's not just data science. You may start with a computer science as a background, even engineer. So we do have engineer. Maybe I can give you a live example. I have my staff here, Farhan. He's a petroleum engineer, but trained as a data science in the last few years. Sorry, Farhan, I have to take you as a live example. And now he's with me doing strategy on AI. I also have Shaful. He's a marketing by background, but he become AI advocate. So I'm saying that you may not be a computer science, you may not be engineer, you can be a marketing person, but you find your spot in advocating AI. There's also many lens of skill set that we are seeing in the organizations. Okay, that's on the left side of the technical aspect. Now, in order to ensure the safe use of AI, there's also on the regulatory side. So the regulatory side, this is ensuring the responsible AI development. We have the AI ethics. AI ethics is understanding what is that set of rules, regulation, or AI law, and understand how it gets translated to a technical implementation. So an AI ethics, you cannot just be a law by background. You need to understand how it gets implemented. So you need to have the lens of two worlds. So if you look at this, every single role has a different accountability and giving a different impact to the whole life cycle of AI. Now, how do we see human AI works together? This is a very simple graph. It just talks about the role of AI, the way we design with the human interaction. So you see from your left side, this is where AI will just generate insights with cooperation with human, all the way that AI can be a recommender, which means AI can give the insight, it can recommend, but as a human, you still make the final decision making. Or AI as a decider, where they churn out, they give insight, and maybe for certain specific rule, you also allow AI to decide. And when AI as an automator, where every single process is being done with AI. But it doesn't mean that when AI as an automator, you don't have human in the loop, because it's a machine. It fails. So when it fails, you need to have the so-called, how do you ensure there's human in the loop who comes in and intervene in the case that it fails. So to a certain aspect, you always have seen an interaction of human and AI working collaboratively in each of the processes. Okay, next. So this is just an example. How many of you are engineers in this room? Only one? And the rest of you? Okay, you just imagine. You are a petroleum engineer. Typically in a petroleum engineer, when they come to Petronas, those are their basic degree, but then they can have area of specialization. They can become a reservoir engineer, drilling engineer, production engineer. So now, as an engineer, you would have what we call as, these are transferable skills, which means that you need to understand the use of the tool in order to do the jobs. You also need to have specific skill for you to look at some of the, in particular engineering tasks. For instance, you need to do some problem solving and so forth. And you also need to have a basic skill. For instance, as a petrol engineer, you need to have project management, critical thinking, problem solving, and so forth. Now, engineer working with AI or moving into an AI world will then upskill themselves. For instance, if they upskill themselves in that area of data engineering, system integration, and so forth, from the petroleum engineer, that person can become an AI solution architect for that domain. Which means that if that domain is got to do with oil and gas, something got to do with exploration, production, that engineer can become AI solutions architect. Similarly, also, if that engineer having to understand how the algorithm works, doing simulation and modeling with AI and so forth, that person can also be an optimization engineer. Okay, so it's not just they are a reservoir engineer, they can also become an optimization engineer. So you can see the shift and the breadth and the enrichment of the skill, new roles with AI, right? Now, the opportunity is for us to upskill. I think that's where the opportunity for us to bring about this particular enhancement and enrichment to the job. Okay, next one. Now, in order to do that, YB Chang also mentioned about learning agility. But unfortunately, it's not just one learning agility. It cut across, I would say, 5 types of agility. Okay, the first one, self-aware. Every single one have to be self-aware about your strengths and weaknesses. I just maybe share with you, even at my age, okay, I'm not that young, but I'm also not that old, but because in order to undertake this role, I feel that I need to equip myself with the right competency. So I went for my certification, so I've already been certified as a certified AI transformation leader from the United States Artificial Intelligence Institute. What I meant to say is, learning never stops, right? If you think that learning just in the university, please change that mindset. Because as and when you go into the workforce, learning never stops. Especially when you are in this field, the technology changes very fast, and I think this is where the first understanding about self-awareness. Second thing about mental agility, how you be able to think critically and navigate complexity. Thirdly, about people agility, how you be able to work differently and collaboratively with a different roles all the time. Then you look at the change agility, how you constantly navigate evolution of change through growth mindset and proactive learning, as well as results agility, how you be able to rapidly build results with tangible outcome. Now, looking at this is where the essential things that you need to understand. There will be evolving rules with AI, continuously changing. So even as we speak right now, when Forbes mentioned about 70% of jobs will change in terms of skill, this is typically the diagnose, how we do a synopsis, what we call as the diagnose on the job. There's 3 rules. First rule, if we go into a particular job and we look at the process, if that process, you already have AI undertaking that process, which means that that task is no longer your task, it's AI task. Can be an agent doing that, can be a machine learning doing that. The second part is when you have a task and you work with the machine, you work with AI. So you're collaboratively working with AI. The third one is AI doesn't do that, it's uniquely human. So that you have an access, be able to assess that particular job in terms of the change magnitude with the AI impact. So what we're saying also is the competitive global market across, how exactly as Malaysia, we have the best talent, how do we continuously evolve to catch up or maybe ahead of the curve in terms of AI evolutions, and how do we enable effective AI integration with the tools, the workflows, as well as what we can actually make a difference to the business process. More important, how you as an individual, you'll be able to build your strong professional profile. Because I think what stands out is always about visibility, right? And I think that's very important for many of us in this room. Next. So this is a sharing. Organizations out there are really upskilling and reskilling their workforce in the organization, the like of Amazon, Microsoft, and so forth. So in Petronas, what we're doing is we upskill, bring that so-called conviction of AI transformation to our C-suite, to our management. The second one is we bring the collaboration across different businesses through many of the activities, as well as we build the right AI influencers and the right talents in the group. Next one. So this is just an example. So the top one, this is some of the ongoing efforts that we are doing at this moment. We do have hackathon, We actually have advocate for AI because we have to make people aware, right? And how exactly we bring leadership masterclass to the management and also AI influencer program. At the bottom, these are exactly all the opportunities. Many of these are actually free, some of these, right? For instance, you talk about Microsoft AI for My Future. This is the program with the government, the Google Gemilang and so forth. We also have K-Youth Development Program, you know, how the government is putting all the right program and infrastructure so that equipping the Malaysians with the right skill on AI. Next. So this, my end of my page. The future starts with you actually. So this is where you can make a difference. The first thing, I would like to urge you to become an advocate for AI for the greater good of the community. Because I think the nucleus of change starts with us. We have to role model that change. Secondly, how do you embrace AI as your core principle, irregardless how you age in the future, and how you promote cross-functional collaboration and knowledge sharing with your team, across team, even different organizations and so forth, and champion the ethical use of AI and advocate for responsible AI practices. Okay, so with that, that will end of my presentation. Thank you.
So thank you very much, Yang Berbahagia Datin Seri di atas sharing just now. So what I can conclude is that in this post-normal era, it's actually AI is actually helps human intelligence to evolve, to upskilling, level ups, and towards pivoting, which pivotal strategies actually are very crucial for navigating challenges and creating positive futures of our country, right? So thank you very much. And now, majlis ingin diteruskan dengan sesi soal jawab. Jadi untuk itu, bagi membelah cara sesi ini, majlis dengan hormatnya menjemput Encik Ramesh Kumar Nadarajah, Ketua Pegawai Strategi Dinas Berhad, untuk bertindak sebagai moderator. Jadi sedikit pengenalan buat moderator kita pada hari ini, pada malam ini, iaitu Tuan Ramesh Kumar Nadarajah, Ketua Pegawai Strategi Dini MOSTI Berhad, di mana beliau merupakan mempunyai kepakaran selama lebih 20 tahun di bidang undang-undang dan teknologi yang memacu inovasi serta pertumbuhan strategik di negara kita. Dengan latar belakang pengurusan IP dan teknologi yang kukuh, beliau mengetuai penyelidikan dan dasar dalam sektor teknologi sekaligus memberi kesan kepada kemajuan ekonomi dan sosial. Jadi tanpa berlengah lagi, dipersilakan Encik Ramesh untuk memulakan sesi soal jawab. Dipersilakan.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I've been taking a lot of notes, and it's been a very interesting session. I would actually like to invite the two speakers, YB and Datin, up on stage. Okay, so my role is as moderator. So we are expecting questions from the floor. I mean, I have a lot of questions. As I said, I've been taking a lot of notes, but I want to give the opportunity to the floor. Okay, if you have questions, maybe what you can do is just stand up, put your hand up, come up to the microphones. We have one microphone, right? Yeah, we have a microphone. Come up to the microphone, or if there are many of you, just line up behind the microphone. When you it's your turn to come up, maybe you can just state your name and what is your area of study, okay, which faculty you are in, and then ask your question, and maybe also state who you're asking the question to. Is it YB or Datin? Okay, if you want a general answer, maybe the question can be to both of them. Alright, so can I invite the floor? And do you all have questions? The mic is behind you. very difficult to see. Put up your hand if you have a question, and it's easy for me to start organizing people. Okay, please.
Okay. Hi, my name is Zach. I'm from Tech Talks. I'm basically one of the dynamic AI startup in Malaysia as well. We have been doing this AI thing since 2019, and currently we are building. Currently we have already built and deployed AI agent and we have already successfully go to market at the moment. There are some few concerns that we have. I'm a bit nervous. I'm not really a extrovert guy, but then there are in a way I'm kind of like representing KAIN, Consortium AI negara, okay, and DPM and one of the consumer movement on AI. We call it AI Avengers. Okay, and one of the concern is on the AI sovereignty. Okay, AI sovereignty, and like for us, right, we have we are really investing our time and effort on this thing. We call it LAM, large action model. So large action model is a bit more different from LLM, because LLM on terms of context only, but then for LAM, large action model is basically more towards of the execution. So we have actually developed quite a number of agentic AI AI agent, and we have actually so dependable on technology from other countries, for instance, AWS from United States, and there's a bit there's a quite a number of concern from KAIN, because KAIN actually is a group of AI companies, AI startup in that name. And we would like to know how does our country mitigate on AI sovereignty, because like what YB was mentioning just now, it's very important that we need to have our data center, but then that data center needs to focus for our AI, so that we can park our AI and we will be less dependent on the technology from the especially like for us. Our core framework, we're using AWS. So as you know, this trade war will definitely going to affect the future of our small startup. So can I have maybe representing KAIN, what are the direction that YB or maybe you guys have on this AI sovereignty?
Thank you for the question, YB.
Thank you. I didn't expect question from startup, but there are a few startups here today. AI startup, we invited them to join us today just to because they are very able startups. So if so happen students, you have questions, you can also convey to them. And on AI sovereignty, I think government is very concerned about this also. But at the moment, we are at a very nascent stage, where we are still trying to develop the technology, and also trying to help our startup to grow and flourish. Of course, we know the importance of sovereignty, AI sovereignty. That is why we are also compelling those data center. I mean, especially those from basically they are foreign investor lah. We compel them. All data has to stay in Malaysia, and other than that, we also we are developing our own LLM, so that we can have our own set of data instead of relying entirely on our foreign investor lah. But as I mentioned earlier, we are still at a very nascent stage, where very not easy to talk about AI sovereignty at the moment, because everything comes with a cost. And at this moment, priority is to develop the technology, and also to make our population more AI savvy, and to increase the adoption of AI in our industry. So that is our current stage now.
Thank you, YB. Datin, do you have anything to add? Okay. One thing I could add to the issue of sovereignty is that it doesn't mean that we necessarily have to have our own, but it will also mean that we have various sources. So which means that if any one source turns bad against us, like what's happening now, okay, we have other sources that we can rely on. So that's another way of handling sovereignty. Sorry, do we have other questions? Sorry, are you okay? There was a lady earlier who put up a hand. Can we have her first, please? Yeah. Name and are you from faculty or are you from startup?
Hello, testing. First of all, thank you so much for letting me ask this question. I'm Edisi, daughter of Balaguru, first year computer science student in Universiti Malaya, studying computer systems and network. Before I ask my question, I would like to show my gratitude towards all the speakers tonight for showing positive attitude towards AI. As someone who has been surrounded by adults who are quite skeptical about AI and how it will take over the world, it is nice to see this fresh approach. Now, my question does stem from this statement, because where this fear comes from, there is a valid question. As students and future professionals, we know AI has great potential to support us. But as IBM has once said in 1979, a computer can never be held accountable. Therefore, a computer must never make a management decision. In today's world, it's easy to rely on ChatGPT, especially when it's just at your fingertips. Now, my question to both of the speakers tonight is, how do we get to control this amongst the public, where else in between students or between the normal staff workers in their careers? How do we ensure that ChatGPT remains as a guide and as a tool to help us, and instead does not cause problems where we have over-dependency and this causes a lack of ability in our own skills? Thank you.
Thank you. Good question.
Thank you very much for this question. In fact, a lot of people ask this question, and I don't have a definite answer, because you know why? As government, we always need to strike a balance between regulatory and also tech development. We do not want too many regulations that might curb the tech development. So that is why we have this 𝘼𝙧𝙩, and it is not enforceable, but as a reference of how we should use AI ethically. It's a reference, and it cannot be enforced yet. But because we need to strike a balance, as I said, if we have too many regulations and too many laws, then that particular technology might not be able to grow. So that is the current situation now. I pass it to Datin. Thank you.
So, if you look at some of the responsible AI ethics principle, first is about transparency. What it means that for any system that any of us use as a user, we have the right to know that it is AI enabled. Whoever the developer of that solution, it must qualify that this system is AI enabled. Second principle is about explainability. For instance, in the case of ChatGPT, or if you go to Perplexity, right? Have you ever used Perplexity? If you're looking at the Perplexity, there's also that questions about explainability, which means that when you prompt it, they will give you that the framework, how they're going to answer, or the process, the thought process, how this is going to be derived. That's explainability. The third principle, accountability. As a user of AI, the decision making, if any fault or any wrong decision making which you are guided by AI, you cannot blame AI. It's still human that make the decision. So what we're saying is that the responsible use of AI, it starts with human. So when you use ChatGPT, what it teaches you as student, do not take that output as your sole information of it is absolute truth. You need to upskill yourself to be able to understand where does the reference comes from. Okay, so then that explains from a user standpoint. So I give an example. Whenever that, for instance, when we look at AI that we bring into Petronas, example we talk about from an IP standpoint, we always have that questions. How exactly is this AI is being trained? Do you train the AI on our data? If they are not training on our data, the second point is, what is that large language model that has been used? That's the second question. And if let's say they have their own small language model that they use, we ask the second question, do you have a legal rights over the contents? Because for AI sovereignty to be deduced or to be so-called in that state of AI sovereignty, there is that deeper questions that we need to understand, the usage of the data to train the model. So I hope that explains from the lens of user as well as from the lens, just an example of a company. Normally that's how we see things.
Can I just add a little bit? Although I say our AIGE is not enforceable and it's not a law yet, but the current law, say the MCMC law and others, can be used to control, I wouldn't say mitigate, say like scam using AI technology. Still there are laws that can be enforced. And of course, we need some amendment here and there just to make sure it is up to date. And because technology advances so fast, that is the problem that we are facing now. Not only Malaysia's government, but all over the world. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, YB. So, does that answer your question? There are people behind you, so if you have a quick one, I think we can allow it.
No, I just want to say thank you.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good evening, Assalamualaikum. I'm not a student from UM, neither am I a student at all. I've been at university for 3 years already. But I'm speaking, I'm representing maybe the consumer section of AI. I literally used AI to develop a prototype of my product within 4 days. So yeah, AI agents and all that. And I probably burned 1,000 ringgit over a few agents and a few platforms. But I found some working ones that really executed well, and especially like last November when Anthropic released the MCP, Model Context Protocol, where they can communicate between database, not necessarily database. It's just get data API, but it's more complex than that. And by the way, I'm working in finance. I only started this in 3 weeks. So my question is, until when am I going to spend all this money to foreign companies? I wish there would be more local products. Maybe the startups are here, but I found a few really good products and platforms. That's like number one, the joking question, but the serious question would be whether or not when I produce my prototype and then after that when I want to launch a product, maybe the moderator might be able to answer since this might be considering on IP. What would be like? How do I play around the IP thing? I still want to keep my branding, right? But of course, the code base would be the problem since it's generated by AI. Thanks.
Thank you. I didn't expect you to answer questions, but okay. I would say that some of the answer to that question Datin mentioned earlier about what is the data that is being used to train. So one portion is the data issue. The other portion that you raised specifically is the tools issue. So which AI agents you use?
Okay, so the data, I don't use any data. It's going to be an open platform where people can just go in, right? It's like any apps. You just go in, register, sign in, auth, and then after that, boom, your profile is on my let's say website, let's say app, and yeah. But definitely the code base, I want to
Oh, okay, all right. Now I get a better idea. And the honest truth is, this is still being debated throughout the world because you are specifically talking about code being developed by AI, but we also have instances of pictures, music, short movies being developed on AI. And there's always the question of who owns it. Is it the person who programmed or who developed the AI agent itself, or is it the person who used it to develop the movie, the music, the code? Okay, and I think it comes down to something very simple. The person who developed the tool, what did they intend? So when you access this tool, you said you burn about 1,000 ringgit, okay, accessing the tools.
For them, this one 200 ringgit lah.
Okay.
Other platforms burn more.
Yeah. So the point here is when you access those tools, okay, you may not read the terms of the user terms or the EULA, the end user license agreement. But essentially that will be the answer to your question is there, because they will tell you whether or not, because it may be they used to use the term freemium. It's a free license given, you don't pay much or you pay very little, but that means what you create belongs to them. Okay, you get the right to use it, but what you create belongs to them. Or it could be you pay full price, what you create belongs to you. So it depends on the terms that they provide when you access those particular tools.
Or what if I just git it, put it on GitHub, and then ask other things, and then deploy it by myself? Nobody knows, right?
Yeah, nobody knows. And the thing about it is, with like GitHub and so on, you have a lot more flexibility because it is understood that there nobody really is going to go for ownership. Thank you. Okay, next question.
Good day. So my name is Saidal. I'm a lecturer in Faculty of Computer Science, UM, and also a fellow at non-residential college, UM. So of course thank you very much. Niners. Okay. All right. Okay. My background is not really an AI, although I'm a lecturer of computer science. Mine is more like another emerging technology, blockchain and networks and wireless networks. Okay. My question is, you said about AI replacing jobs, human jobs. Okay. But we need to, the future lies in those who knows how to use AI. Okay, how do we make sure, like we, the local workforce, even students, how do Malaysia make sure so that we just not as the users, okay, we are also a technology creators, okay? So because you say that not enough, as YB said previously, there is not enough challenge in Malaysia. Although we have like universities like produce graduates and stuff, but it's still not enough talent on AI. And then the second one is, of course, AI is fantastic, but how do we make sure, because you can, AI also can be used for like breach of privacy, scamming, or even create a deep fake video and so on. So is there any ethical or framework that tackle this issue? Okay, so this question for both YBs and also Datin.
Okay, two questions.
Yeah, okay, thank you very much for the question. In fact, there are many initiatives by the government, be it from MOSTI or from KD, Menteri Digital, or from KESUMA and KPT. There are many initiatives, but of course, depends on stages. So we do have courses like AI for Belia, AI for there are some from Tibet. We are giving incentive to TWET that give training on digital related training like AI, robotic, coding, etc. So those are the government initiative. But I think we should have more private and government collaboration, especially like say like Petronas and any universities. We should have more collaboration. That in fact, KD is working very closely with Microsoft and also Google. We are looking at training up to a few hundred thousands of AI savvy workforce, and also 400,000 civil servants. So it's in the pipeline, but we need more of this. So we can't rely entirely on the government, but we also need a lot of collaboration from the private sector as well. So that is one. Secondly is on what? Oh, that goes back to AIGE. I think the AI governance and ethics is quite comprehensive. Just that, as I mentioned earlier, it is just a framework. It is just a reference that at this moment we still can't enforce it, but it's just a framework for us to refer to, I mean, especially to stakeholders and also industry players. So that is the current stage now. Thank you.
If I can just add to what YB Chang mentioned about AIGE, but in other parts of the world, for instance, you may have heard about EU AI Act. It's already now enforced. So part of the thing in EU AI Act, they also talk about the what do you call it, non-tolerable risks. Non-tolerable risk is when your AI is being used for example like social scoring and so forth. That's one example. In the case of China, for instance, you know there's a lot of AI that is developing videos, generate new videos, new photos. So they're also asking for a watermark, so that as a user, we know that that photo is generated by AI. So I think there's many safety feature many organization or country is trying to impose. And I think this is where, if you remember my presentation, while the technology scale very fast, the regulators are lagging behind. So we are building in the right ecosystem and the right controls mechanisms. But I think what's more important, even if you look at EU AI Act, the requirement of enforce, it goes into the both parties. One party is those parties who develop AI system. The other party is the user. Example, for instance, if the solutions is being deployed in a company, there must be enough evidence to say that the employee of the company has been fully trained on the use of AI, has fully trained to understand if the AI fail, what would be the so-called actions to be done by the human. So I think when we look at AI accountability, it doesn't fit into one single party. It also means that as a user of AI, you are also being accountable on your actions. So that's the principle of usage of AI. But I believe that as and when we go and move into this direction, I think there's also now a lot of the efforts by the government, for instance, in the National AI Office right now, they are undertaking the working group in looking at how do we further define a set of more explicit requirements that we can further deduce from AIGE. So that's kind of the right effort at this moment. Yeah?
Just one piece of additional information. In fact, EU AI Act is the only law, I think, so far. Not even US, not even China, not even Singapore. So most of these countries, they are using similar approach like Malaysia, a framework instead of law. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much, YB and Datin. So hopefully MOSTI and also Petronas will have like kind of a generous to fund our research in UM. Alright, thank you very much. Bye.
Pitching.
Thank you. Okay, next.
Hello, good evening. My name is Alex Kanda. I'm studying software engineering in UM. Alright. So it's just a bit of building upon the guidelines. Actually, I have two questions. So one of them is related to guidelines. So this is for YB. In your opinion, do you think it's wise that we start off with a guideline first instead of just writing a regulation into law immediately. Saying like, for instance, if I recall, China does have something of AI regulation into law where they are not allowed to train an AI model using a voice actor's voice or someone's art without their explicit consent. So I wonder if it's a wise choice to start off with the guideline instead of just writing some base rules into law first. And my other question is, this is directed towards Datin. So the question is AI being trained on other AI generated works a risk? Because I remember reading an article about how an AI being trained on other AI articles may end up regurgitating information that has way more hallucinations than normal and may end up just polluting the database of what the AI will be trained on. So I wonder if that is currently a major risk in our landscape. That's all.
Thank you. Just to answer your first question, I would like to give you an example. I've seen one illustration in the Economist. So someone brought a dog to the cage maker. So cage maker is like the regulator. I brought a dog. The dog is AI. So he said, I want to make a cage for this dog. So that cage maker make a cage. After 1 month, they make a cage. And then by the time he brought the dog to the cage maker, the size already exceeded the cage, because it shows that AI advances so fast that no regulation you can really fit at the moment. So there are reasons why so many countries, they are not taking the approach that you mentioned just now. So instead of law, we are using a framework because things are very fluid and very dynamic, and AI is a technology that advances so fast. Even you make a law now, very quickly you have to change it. So at the moment, we are still using a framework. Eventually, I think after things settle down, then maybe eventually we will have a set of law or regulation that can be enforced. But definitely not now. Thank you.
Okay, your questions, right? Your question is, does AI is being trained on the output of other AI? Yes, that's definitely a risk. That's why part of our assessment, right? The first thing we ask is how does AI is being trained? So secondly is whether the data is a trusted data and whether they have legal rights over the data. I think those already part of the so-called control mechanism that we always put in place whenever we bring any generative AI solutions within the company. But typically what we're seeing at this moment, most of the company, they are not training their own Gen AI. Typically they will use what we call as a RAG approach to actually do the proper grounding. So which means that the data is still your data. But they use, for instance, like GPT-4 and everything, those from a lens of the natural language processing to give you a better contextualization. But in terms of the data, it's still your data. So from our lens, if a company is bringing from a RAG approach, to us it's already safe. The other parts, if you remember, if you heard about synthetic data. Yeah, so synthetic data is very good because for AI to be trained, you need to have huge amount of data. But sometimes you don't have enough data. So synthetic data is being produced and being trained on AI that is still be okay, because it is still have the right trend and some kind of character to the original data. So that is still allowable. So to your point, yes, we do take that as a consideration and making sure that there is no process of having any solutions being trained on the output of the other AI. Okay, I hope that explains. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, that's all.
Hi, good evening. I'm T. I'm a science student. I'm studying microbiology and molecular genetics. So YB mentioned about precise. This inspiration was mostly including people-centric, focusing on R&D and startups. So I have a team of undergrads. We are passionate about a health issue, which is AMR. So essentially it's about bacteria getting resistant to antibiotics, and antibiotics won't work anymore. So we have won grants, and we are organizing projects and events to spread awareness about it. And we have even gone to the stage where we have student ambassadors from other countries, 9 countries, including Philippines and Timor-Leste, that they agree to establish their own chapters there. So my question to YB is, would MOSTI be open to supporting youth-led initiatives, research and surveillance like this in tackling problems like this, maybe incorporating AI?
Definitely. But of course, it still depends on your presentation and your proposal. You see, mostly we have a few grants, R&D grant. Off the cuff, I can think of a few. One is on SRF Strategic Research Fund, and we also have TED 1, TED 2. So there are quite a number of funds that are open for researchers or even students to apply. So and also biotech is part of our very core focus. So we have our agency, we have bioeconomy, we have NIBM, National Institute of Biotechnology in Malaysia. So this is one of our focuses. So if you have good proposal, please do come to us.
Yeah, so if YB, may I ask if you have maybe 2 or 3 minutes after this session?
You should see my Dr. Sri KSU. He's the one who decides. Okay, sure.
All right, thank you. Next.
We heard a lot about China. Thank you. China is also a beautiful country. Welcome to China. I'm from China. And dear Mr. Chen, I have 2 questions for you. Thank you. I'm a teacher and a fan of yours. I'm a fan. Okay. I have 2 questions. Number 1, do you think the students' learning plans must be deeply integrated with AI? Do you think the students' learning plan must be deeply integrated with AI? It's number 1.
Sorry, the question, must the students' learning be integrated with AI?
Yeah, learning plans must be deeply integrated with AI. Sorry, my English is...
Learning plan, is it?
Maybe in Chinese. 就您认为是不是现在的学生呢？关于人工智能一定要深度融合在学习当中
Basically, it's asking whether we should blend this AI into our conventional learning. Blend. Okay.
And the
second question.
Second, will AI replace most teachers?
Sorry,
replace
okay.
most teachers. Yeah.
Okay.
Because I'm a teacher.
Oh, you're a teacher. Okay, thank you. 2 questions. Okay, one is on whether we should blend AI into our students' learning. Well, I think this is a very good question, and if you ask me, I think we should. I mean, certain extent. Maybe it's not like basic knowledge of digital things like AI, robotic, coding. I think those are the things that we should incorporate into our current syllabus. Of course, because I'm not an education expert, so I can't give you how. I can't tell you how. But if you ask me, I think we should not only AI, robotic, and even some emerging tech like quantum technology. Also, I think we should, certain extent, we should blend into our syllabus, whether it is primary or secondary. So I think we should. Secondly, I don't think AI will replace most of the teachers because as Datin mentioned just now, you can see, of course, the role of human might be declining, but still there is always a role. And besides that, we still have more newly emerged occupation or jobs because of AI. So maybe on conventional or traditional job, humans' role will be declining, but there will be new roles. For instance, just very small example, traditional sector like agriculture, we need a lot of human resources at this moment. So in Malaysia, we rely a lot on migrant workers. So if we can integrate AI into the system, we can have smart farming, we could drastically reduce our reliance on foreign workers, migrant workers. But at the same time, there will be new jobs or new skill set that we need new people to oversee, say to control the system, maintain the system, and whatnot. So I don't see AI will be replacing teachers. So this is my conclusion. Thank you.
Thank you also. It's very important about Gunana.
Thank you. Okay, sorry, before we continue, can I just check? There are 2 people, right? Okay, so that will be, I think, we will need to close up soon, so we'll take this at the final.
Alright, good evening everyone. You guys can hear me, right? My name is Chuan Moon. I'm currently a freshman at the engineering faculty, taking mechanical engineering. So my question is quite similar to the Mr. before me. It's about talent, with the syllabus incorporating, AI. So we've seen that a lot of us are talking about AI, and talent is a major thing, happening in our situation right now. So previous talks that I've been to, they've always been talking about talent. We are losing talent for at a rate of 15% every year. So at a rate, and especially when we are from universities like from USM, the top universities in Malaysia, and I see a lot of my seniors, those with no entanglement, no bonds with companies in Malaysia, they tend to leave Malaysia for better income jobs from other countries like our neighbor. And then my question is quite similar to Mr. before me. We have yet to see any AI related courses integrated into for example mechanical engineering. So I've seen that as Datin has mentioned just now, bachelor engineering can be trained into becoming a data analyst. So for mechanical engineering, there's a lot of stuff going on, but the government has yet to introduce a small course, it helps us to integrate ourselves with AI, or help us to develop AI, because we know that AI applies on everything, and you need an expert on that field to develop that specific AI. And with us losing so many talents, and having less and less talent in Malaysia, and will it be one question to YB, is this going to be a major thing, or are we having a policy that's going to bring up by the government soon to help curb this problem? Yeah, I think that's right.
Thank you very much. Well, I think it's a very good suggestion. In fact, besides because we just set up our AI faculty in UTM last year, and UTM is of course offering a Bachelor of AI, but I think UM is also offering a Bachelor of AI, and also Asia Pacific University. Of course, APU is a private university, and also I know Xiamen University is also offering AI engineering. So I think slowly but surely more universities or higher learning institutions, they will be offering more of these courses. But to answer your question, of course I know you are not referring to this. You are referring to say micro-credential. Maybe you have your core course, but how to integrate AI into your area. So as I mentioned just now, government has this initiative to give assignment or task to different universities to incorporate AI into certain sectors. Like for UM is medical, for UPM is cyber security, for USM is semiconductor, for UKM is LLM. So we have already started, but of course I know the process is still slow, but we have already started. So once everything goes well, then I think KPT will take it from there. Okay, thank you.
There's one follow-up question on that. So for us, right, I've seen the decline in students, especially studying STEM for secondary school. So I think I can suggest to MOSTI that maybe you and the MOE and the the Ministry of Higher Education can come up with a task force, maybe just to help students, to build up their STEM interests, and as well as incorporating AI in their young studies, especially about the AIGE. So I've seen recently we have a case where students they do inappropriate things with AI, the one that we've seen in the report yesterday, I think 2 days ago.
In Johor, yeah, they superimposed photo on using AI to superimpose on.
Yeah, I think that having this good governance and also the ethical studies, especially the moral studies for students, is very important, especially with AI booming right now.
Thank you, thank you. We'll discuss with Ministry of Higher Education and also Ministry of Education, because it's a cross-ministerial effort. Now a lot of things are cross-ministerial, so we need to have collaboration with other ministries as well. But I think on that, how to integrate into say your field, mechanical. Oh, maybe you can have a chat with 𝘾𝙧𝙩𝙚𝙦 because they are expert in application, AI application in businesses. So I'm sure he can give you some idea how to integrate AI into your core business. Okay, thank you.
If I can just add to what YB Chang mentioned, I think just now YB Chang responded in terms of the policy, but I just want to add on in terms of the individual efforts. If you Google out there, there's a lot of online learning. You can go through AWS, Google, Microsoft. You can take the relevant online learning, even certification, they give you certifications. So maybe from the module lens, it may not get embedded, but I believe from an individual capacity, you can do that, right? Because I'm just telling you this, the learning about AI, learning about cloud, cyber and everything, it also applies to us, even though we are in the workforce. Many of the engineers in Petronas, they're learning on their own about the use of Azure, AWS, and so forth. So I think that should be already motivation at the student level. How do you level up your skill set and competency? Because those certifications are actually free. So you can always go and do that. Yeah?
I just want to add to that. MIMOS also provides training. We have the MIMOS Academy that provides AI-related training. And we recently actually also launched MIMOS Junior Academy, which is actually for kindergarten, right? Where the focus is on STEM-related education for children. So that's to address your other question.
Thank you very much.
Okay, final question.
Okay, good evening. I'm Dr. Tan Lih from YB. I'm a researcher in the sustainable construction material, meaning that the concrete is made out of the waste material without cement. So my question is, how do you guys think this AI can contribute to anything like construction material related application or any material engineering related application?
Thank you.
Because actually we are also trying to adapting the AI into the construction material research. So at one point actually, I make my FYP student to do the construction material research. Then what they do is they keep using the ChatGPT to help them to write the thesis. And all the things come out is wrong. The how to say, the literature review, all the references are wrong. So at one point I'm so fed up. Then I asked the ChatGPT, regarding to construction material research, what do you think? Are you better than me or I'm better than you? Then the ChatGPT say, I should admit that you are better than me. So I just screenshot and tell my student, AI also admit he cannot be better than me. So please don't try to fool me with the AI by using AI to write a thesis.
That's very interesting. But just to inform you, we also have a few AI. They are startup and they are expert in applying AI in industry. Like Lucky is for business, QMAT is on medical, MAIA also medical, Mind Robotics is on agriculture. So maybe they can give you a better picture how to apply AI into certain fields or sectors. Yeah. If you want to talk to them about this.
Okay, so far right now, AI in construction materials is quite limited, the literature review. So what I can find for construction related, AI in construction related field, they are mostly applied on the digital twin or the BIM, but not yet the construction material. So we also try to find a breakout from here.
Maybe the issue is not about AI. Maybe the issue is about not enough contents and materials to begin with. Because if you have enough, you can just apply AI right into that and you can have a better contextualization and output. So that's my sense of your issue now.
Okay, no problem. We will try our best to
Yeah.
find.
And another thing, you don't use ChatGPT because ChatGPT, they are trained on backdated data, yeah? And some of the data that they train, it maybe is an open source data, which means that it's not something that they purchase. So maybe to your line of research, those information are something you need to purchase. So maybe that's the reason why your ChatGPT doesn't give you the best output, for instance.
I actually subscribed the ChatGPT.
No, not use ChatGPT. I'm saying that ChatGPT, when they train huge data, but maybe they are trained on a public, free, open data. But they are not trained on IP, proprietary data. For instance, data of specific research that you have to buy, for instance. So that's the reason why in the world of AI, what we call that, we have small language model that we train on a specific domain. For instance, there will be a small language model that is being trained on anything about health related, anything about engineering related. Yeah? So maybe you need to find, maybe there's even a good R&D, maybe Universiti Malaya wanted to say, there's some of the area that maybe there's not enough availability of solutions out there, that become an opportunity. If you have enough data to begin with, that's where your small language model can be part of very valuable AI assets, not just for Universiti Malaya, but maybe even for the country as well.
Okay, so thank you very much. So anyone will have the idea of how to make your AI into construction material may seek for me for the collaboration. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, YB, Datin. I think we will come to the end of our session. Is there anything like